memory, all alone in the moonlight. La, 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 la. From School of Rock.
Yeah,
That's where that song's
School
from.
of Rock.
It is. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Holt Harmonics. I'm Jake.
I'm Tianka.
I'm Hannah. Hi.
Hi, this is Hannah, guys. We have a very special guest today. Hannah let us into her lovely home to do an awesome little guest video. We're just going to put her through it. We're going to put her through the gauntlet.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're going to put her through the gauntlet today. Hannah is a professional vocal coach, a prolific YouTuber, and a music director, among other things. Just a lovely lady all around.
Wow. Wait, keep going.
Okay. Yeah.
This feels great.
I could go on. The reason why this collaboration came into being is because one of the main videos on my channel is Avenue Q. It's a full production. It's become the #1 Avenue Q video in the world, which is crazy. Like, it's even surpassed some of like the Broadway casts and stuff. And that was a production that Hannah music directed, and I played Nikki in that. And Tianka watched it on YouTube.
I watched
later.
it, so I'm part of this.
So yeah, I was just gonna like chat about that for a second. Looking back, like, what was it, 7 years? And
Oh my God.
Have you music directed much since?
I did 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee there after that. But yeah, I just did those few productions.
At Midvale?
And then I had a baby.
And
then I started my YouTube channel. So
not a whole lot of time to be music directing since then. But just, looking back, like, that was fun, right? Like, that was a fun production.
Oh, so fun. Just recently, actually. That's why another reason why this was meant to be was recently I was talking about how much I love music directing, and I brought up the recording, and I showed that part in the Give Us Your Money, the money song that we worked so hard on, all those harmonies.
That
and I was
was
like,
a killer
you
song.
need to hear this. And I brought it out and I showed it to my friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was like, don't they sound so good?
Every time you do good deeds, you're also serving your own needs.
Yeah, no, you killed it on the music directing. Like, our harmonies were all very tight. My favorite one that I always go back to is I Wish I Could Go Back to College.
Yeah.
Just the most gorgeous harmonies in that
Avenue
song.
Q has some deceptively tricky harmonies.
Yeah. She played
Yes.
Kate Monster in college.
Oh, you did?
So
I did.
she's got the DNA in her as well.
I do.
wow.
I love
Yeah.
Avenue Q.
Yeah, but also aside from Avenue Q, like, that was a great time. That's how we met. That's like the first big project we did together. But the year after that, I was in dire need of a vocal coach. Next to Normal was coming up.
Yeah.
And I was so desperate to get into Next to Normal. It eventually, it worked out. You can watch that video on this channel as well. But I really wanted the role of Gabe so badly. And I realized, like, if I'm going to go for this, I got to get some professional training. And so I went to Hannah and I was like, let's do this. And so it was for a long time, right? It was like a year. I sang I'm Alive
worked.
at You for so many times. And
You worked
helped.
really hard.
Yeah, and you were so great, so helpful. We would just meet like over Skype, I think, like back when Skype was a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we did online voice lessons, and I had always had my personal voice lessons done over Skype,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really until the pandemic started that all of my students moved over there. So you were really ahead of your time.
Well, that's good. Hannah was amazing. She, like, singing that song over and over again. That song is brutal, but she helped my mix develop, helped me get into the higher registers in a healthy way, and I just look back on it fondly.
Thank
I
you.
didn't
And you got cast?
I did get cast. I didn't end
Yeah.
up getting Gabe, but I got Dr. Madden. I loved it. It was. I just
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to be in the show, and so it was.
And you were in it twice.
I did it. Midvale asked me to play that role again in their Next to Normal because their guy dropped out, and they're like, "Oh, Jake's played it," so just, So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, so I got to do it again. So that was fun. Love Next to Normal. We're thinking of doing some stuff on that show on this channel, so stay tuned.
Cool.
We might need your vocal prowess.
How did you get into vocal coaching?
Another meant to be moment, actually. So I was always the singer in my whole life, and that was my full identity, like in a very, very toxic way. Like, if I wasn't the best singer in the room, I was the scum of the earth.
People would hear about it.
That's a problem. Like, I mean, sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I wasn't. I was just so, like, it was just everything to me. And so when I went to college, I was, doing musical theater, but it didn't really feel right because I knew I didn't want to audition and perform for the rest of my life. Like, the prospect of auditioning for the rest of my life, I was like, I'm gonna die. I
Exhausting.
can't. I
Yeah.
wanted to puke.
So much.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what else to do. And so I, personally personally, since I was always a singer, always taking voice lessons. And I started working with a teacher named Megan Yates. And we were Facebook friends, but like tangentially, I don't even remember how we became Facebook friends. But I saw that she posted that she was doing voice lessons. And so I was like, oh, I want to work with her. And then she made a post that was like, by the way, if anybody's been wondering the program that I teach with, here it is. And I swear that was just meant for me because I was like, I could be a voice teacher.
Yeah.
And it felt so obvious because, of course, like I had taught piano lessons for a long time. One-on-one coaching was a format that I was
You already had
very
the teaching and
familiar with.
coaching. Yeah.
And it just felt like, oh my God, duh, like I should do this. So I dropped out of school.
Yeah.
And I joined the Institute for Vocal Advancement. That's where I got my training.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And oh my God, I dove headfirst, which is, I guess, what I do if I'm going to do something.
Oh, that's the only way, yeah.
I'm all in. And it was absolutely, I just knew it was like, this is destiny. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
It just felt good.
Yeah. And so slowly I taught at a couple different places. I taught some musical theater classes to kids. I taught at a vocal conservatory. And then as my studio grew, I just taught privately from my house. And I felt very proud of myself that I felt like I made a good name for myself in the Utah area for voice lessons.
Yeah.
And then, but there was always this like secret little dream in the back of my head. Ever since YouTube started, I was always a big YouTube fan.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do YouTube, but in my mind, I was like, but that'll never happen. You know, in an alternate universe, like I could do YouTube,
That's sort
I
of
guess.
like the mentality when it comes to YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, you see these people getting famous on YouTube and you have that, like, it's easy to think like, oh, that couldn't be me. Like, that's just, you know, yeah. So you actually went for it. And we're going to get to the YouTube section.
Okay. I won't say it anymore.
No, it's okay. Like, but yeah, I'm going to ask you a lot more specifically about YouTube. Just staying on vocal coaching for a second.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, as a professional vocal coach, like, what is the most common issue that you run into with vocal training?
Okay.
Do you think there's one you could think of?
So I could go the technical route, which I think is what you're asking, but I'm actually going to get a little sappy. So just like bear with me.
Love it. Yeah, let it out.
But I think throughout all different genders, voice types, everything, what it comes down to is people usually have a terrible relationship with their voice. Like they take what happens with their voice as a direct reflection of their own self-worth.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that keeps people from progressing.
And so they just get this mental block of like, I can't hit this note. I'm not good enough. Like,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. So, and I am very passionate about this. I call it lovingly vocal baggage. Like we all have it,
Yeah.
especially if you were in a musical theater program. Oh, I'm sure you have a lot of it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That became like my niche actually after I started teaching less, but my clientele specifically was women ages 18 to 25 that were either applying to musical theater programs or currently in them.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I could like really connect with them on that. But it wasn't unique to them that they had vocal baggage. It was literally everyone. So, and there's a lot of people that won't even show up to voice lessons because they've already decided, oh, I can't sing.
Yeah.
I'm not a singer.
Yeah.
I truly think that singing is good for the soul. Like whether or not you believe in like the chakras, your throat chakra, or whatever, it's the only instrument that is literally a part of your body.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly vulnerable. And I'm very passionate about teachers teaching in a sensitive and trauma-informed way because I've had multiple voice lessons personally and also more students than I can count that cry during their lessons. And sometimes they don't even know why.
Oh, yeah.
The
just
tears
comes
come
out,
and they're
like-
like, I'm so sorry, like so embarrassed. I'm like, no, it's okay. It's totally fine because it's just a release of
It's
energy.
the same thing like in yoga, like when you do a really deep pose and one of your like your middle chakra is open and you're just like this surge of emotion, like it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that especially in musical theater, we can be singing some really sad stuff. And I am all about getting that emotion out because the more that you try to repress it, the
worse it's
going
gonna be.
to, that lump in your throat
Yes.
when you're trying to talk, but you need to cry. How are you supposed to sing if you're repressing all of that? So that's really what I'm the most passionate about. And I talk about on my channel is I never want to be the kind of voice teacher that, I'm reacting to Taylor Swift. Like, who am I to tell Taylor Swift how to sing? Honestly, I'm not going to. I love analyzing and getting curious because I think it helps us separate a little bit from our voice. Like, look at it more objectively, that
scientific.
everything in our voice happens for a reason. And I would love to get to the bottom of that. Let's figure out what it is. But if we are in this like frustrated mode, we're never going to figure out what that is.
And that's why your content is very valuable and people like it, is because, you're not at all being like, oh, sing like this, you're not doing good. Like, you're more just like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Let's analyze it. Let's break it down.
Because obviously technique is important to voice, but I think that's so huge. I mean, it didn't click for me. I had so much vocal baggage going into musical theater school. And it wasn't until my senior year that I got a vocal teacher who was like, it's all mental, and like really worked with, like truly gave me therapy. And I cried in so many vocal lessons to really connect to my body and my voice, that I was able to actually like understand the technique part of it.
Yes. And it's so sad that it took until your senior year to find that.
Yeah.
And so many people quit before they even get there. And that breaks my heart. And I've heard so many students' stories on their vocal baggage, whether that was, I had a student whose boyfriend, when she was like 15, said like, you're just not a really good singer. And that affected her, that stuck with her. Or the worst ones that really get my blood boiling are the ones where they had a teacher that was like, I just don't think singing is for you. Like,
so
are you
limiting.
kidding me?
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. Because
That's awful.
like, my literal job is to help you enjoy singing better and like to work for you, whatever your goals are. And sometimes I ask my students to trust me because we're going to go a different path, and you're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about, but I swear I do.
I can attest to this. This happens. This did.
But we're looking for that end result. And especially when I'm talking about professionals, I always have that mentality of, who am I to suggest things to them? I'm going to analyze, and then I'm going to think, if this professional said to me that high note doesn't feel very good, I'd be like, great, let's fix it. If they were like, actually, it feels great, I can do it that way every night.
Then let's go.
Yeah, I'm not going to say
As long as
anything.
it's healthy, yeah.
They make way more money than me with their voice.
Yeah. Do you have a preference for performing or teaching after all these years?
Teaching.
Teaching wins.
Yeah. And I, as someone, like I mentioned earlier, my history of just my voice being my identity, I genuinely never thought that would happen. But I love teaching so much. And then really it solidified for me when I music directed for the first time. And I think my first show was Addams Family.
Oh.
And it was sitting in the audience, literally tears in my eyes. I was so proud of everybody
That just
that I was
sounded
like,
great.
I would be so happy to just sit here forever and just support the people on stage.
I love that. That's so rewarding to see when you made that difference. You're like, I made them sound like that. Like, that's
It
super
feels
cool.
like the teamwork. Like we worked so hard at
we
this,
did
and
that.
I'm so proud of them because, this one chord, the audience is enjoying it as a whole, but I can remember that freaking measure 11 and how much we worked on that. And that is so special to me. And I've definitely recently been thinking I want to perform in different ways myself because singing is good for the soul. And as a teacher, sometimes I will just, I think I'm singing because I'll demonstrate or whatever, but really I'm not singing. And so I go like weeks without actually singing anything for myself. And that needs to change. I really do feel like singing is a big part of our expression of energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go on this tangent because I know you have questions, but I think it's very sad that the only way that we in kind of the Western world experience singing, especially group singing, is in a religious setting.
Yeah.
And so when you are not religious, which a lot of millennials are not, we're much less religious than our parents, then we are never having that community and magical feeling of group singing.
Oh, yeah.
It's only religious. And I think that honestly, when I get into this, I'm like, I'm going to start a choir. Like I'm going to do this. But another reason why
Sign
I
me up.
love, musical theater, because it's the group of everyone singing together. You feel connected.
It's a spiritual experience.
yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And it's powerful. It
Yeah.
really
Well,
is.
I found out like a year ago that it stimulates your vagus nerve to sing. And when I learned that, now now, like, if I'm home by myself, I'm belting at the top of my lungs. I'm like, I got to get my energy and my stress out. And it just feels so good.
Yes, it does. And I think I've had some students say to me, just to wrap up all this stuff about like the spirituality of singing.
Yeah.
I know it can sound a little woo-woo. I
love woo-woo.
But so many students have been like, I've never had a teacher as nice as you. And I'm like, I mean, thank you. But also like, what?
But sad.
Why is that so revolutionary that I'm like here, being nice? But I just think that the way that we approach our voice or teaching voice is often very different than we teach any other instrument. And not that I think any other instrument teacher should be like mean, but they can get away with it. Okay. Because I am not my piano. I am separate, but my voice is a part of me. So if there's a teacher that has that mentality of like, to work hard, we need to not have fun, then I'm going to end up feeling sad.
Yeah.
And the way that like resonates in my body and everything, like it's just something I'm really passionate about. And I knew from the beginning of getting on YouTube that I wasn't going to be the most knowledgeable about vocal pedagogy. I knew that I wasn't going to be, and I didn't want to be. I was like, that's not
not
really
my
my cup of tea. If there's ever, I'm working with a student and there's a question I don't know, I'm very open. I'm like, you know what? I don't know the answer to that question. Is it okay if I record you and I send it to my like colleague? Is that okay? And people love vulnerability. So they're like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, thank you for saying that,
Yeah.
And I knew on YouTube, I was going to make it clear, like, I am not an expert on this, but this is where I'm really passionate about how we sing, how we feel about our voices. And the magical thing is that my students, in like 1 month would say like, I've had more progress than in years because they stopped hating themselves so much. And they were able to just like approach it with a more relaxed, curious mindset of like, let's see what happens, instead of like, oh God, like anxiety of like, I'm going to crack and then Hannah's going to be so mad at me. And like, they don't have that. And I really think that that's something that's like majorly missing from a lot of vocal education.
You're
That's
like their
awesome.
vocal therapist shaman.
Yep.
I love it.
That's me.
Okay. Vocal coaching. We learned that was some really good stuff. Thanks for diving into that. But now we're going to play a game called Finish That Lyric.
Oh no. Wait, from what?
Okay, so this is how it's going to work. We're going to give you points from different musicals, okay?
Okay.
Preferably the answer should be sung, but it's up to you.
Okay.
We're just going to jump right in, everybody. Okay, first one is blank. All Alone in the Moonlight.
Oh, memory, all alone in the moonlight. La, 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 la. From School of Rock. That's where that song's from.
Rock.
It is
Miranda
excellent.
Cosgrove really like nailed that.
She did, and the whole class hated it. Perfect, 1 for 1.
Okay, thank you.
Next one, here we go. Hey, hey, blank. I've been waiting for someone like you.
I'm singing it in my head. Wait. It's from the last 5 years.
It is.
Shiksa Goddess.
Yes.
All right.
Crushed it.
Hey, Shiksa Goddess.
Yeah.
I've been
That's
waiting
it.
for someone. Yeah. That one.
Nice.
Yes,
2 for 2. All right, give us the next one.
All right. We've got, we are blank, outnumbered, outplanned.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it from Newsies?
It is not from Newsies.
I don't know.
Don't know this one?
I'm going to be mad at myself that I don't
do you
know
want
it.
it?
What is it? Yeah.
We are outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. It's a Hamilton one.
Oh,
That's a little deeper. It's a little
That
deeper.
Deep cut. It's a deeper cut.
Yeah.
My God, there's a lot of words in that one.
There are.
Okay.
Something has blank. Something is not the same.
Hold on. Is it something has changed within me?
Sure is.
Okay, but here's the thing. On the Hamilton one, you said blank for 2 separate words. And that
That's
one, you
true.
just gave me
I
a
need
blank.
to
I know.
stick with a singular standard.
I blame you.
I will now do
Something
separate
has-
blanks for separate words. That is on me.
But it's
YouTube.
3 out of 4. So you
Okay, so
win
each-
our respect.
Yeah,
Wow,
each of
thank you,
those
thank
questions
you.
that you got right. The first one was 75 points. The second one was 49 points. The third one you missed was minus 200 points, unfortunately. But then the last one you did end up getting 1,000 points for. So you won. Good job.
What's the total?
I don't know.
math.
I don't really know.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
so that
I'll
was just
insert it in post.
I feel
yeah.
great.
So that was a little break for a game, but now if you're down, we can pivot to some YouTube questions.
Yeah, hit
You
me.
down? You know, you've been a successful vocal coach, music director. We talked about this, but what made you think to yourself, I want to take these skills and use them to build a huge YouTube channel? Was this something like we talked about a little bit earlier, but like, was it something like YouTube was always an aspiration, or did you get inspired by something or someone that made you finally kind of push and just do it?
Yeah, there was a final push. I think it was always a dream, but something I never actually thought that I could achieve. Like really, I was limiting myself. I stumbled upon it was a vocal coach's video. I can't remember actually if it was a reaction video or something else. It must have been a reaction because I remember thinking like, I didn't even know that this was a genre. So first of all, that was really cool. But this coach was giving what I thought was like harmful information. I mean, it was like, I was like twitching. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And it filled me with rage. And I was like, I need to do something about this. But at the time, I don't even think my daughter was a year old yet. And I was still in the like post baby trying to figure out who I was again, you know, that funk.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get up the courage. But the belief in my head was, who wants to hear from me? Like there are so many other vocal coaches that are way more qualified, have way more experience that would be better at this. And then it just hit me one day like, yeah, but they're not doing it.
Exactly.
That's the difference. They're not doing it. And the final push for me was actually, I've told this story before, but it was like, I think it was a Vice video or something, but it was talking about modern art, something that's very divisive. Like some people are like, that's literally not art. And they use this example of like, you walk into a museum and you walk into a room and you see this wall of just white paintings, just white on a canvas. And a lot of people's first thought is, okay, well, I could do that. But the difference between you and the artist is that they did the damn thing.
And they presented it.
They did it.
Yeah.
That was it for me. I was like, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to be the one that does it.
I love that.
I think that there is more than enough room at the table for all of my favorite vocal coaches and teachers to make content.
Oh, yeah.
And for all niches, like when people say, oh, I've always wanted to do this, but it's so oversaturated. I'm like,
It's a myth.
it's the internet. There's like a billion users every day.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of YouTube like books and things, and that is one of the biggest points that's made is like it's not too crowded.
Never.
You just need to do it. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's so
I mean,
great.
it might take you longer than the person who started a year ago in that niche,
of course.
but you're still going to find your people. So I had to give myself kind of this pep talk of like, I'm going to do it. And also recognizing that I don't have to be perfect because I'm not everybody's voice teacher. I am not going to cater to everyone. People are going to decide, you know, who they like and what kind of content they like.
Yeah.
And luckily people liked me. Like,
They sure did.
that felt good. But I really actually think that made a big difference for me is the mindset. Like when you have a very rigid mindset and very like, you're not prepared emotionally for it. Like I've had, you know, people will say, oh, you have to have really thick skin to get on the internet. And I usually say like, I want to rephrase that. Instead of thinking that you have to have thick skin, I think you have to love yourself a lot. I think you have to have a lot of self-love because the negative comments are going to come anyway.
Yeah.
And I can either be like, yeah, that doesn't bother me, which it does because we're soft and squishy and we're humans and we get hurt.
Yeah.
Instead, I can give myself a second to be like, oh, that one hurt a little bit. But I recover quicker because I allow myself to do that. And so I just think I was in a really good place in my life, feeling like confident as a voice teacher, confident in myself. I didn't have any ideas of grandeur of like, I'm going to be the #1 vocal coach on the internet and I'm going to be perfect at everything. I was just like, I would love to do this. I'd love to make some money on it and find people that like me, find my group.
Mission accomplished.
You've been doing it for 4 years now. So what is the thing that you found that you love most about YouTube and what do you not like as much about doing YouTube?
Okay. The thing that I love the most, well, I mean, I love the content that I make.
Yeah.
Like I get to
That's
sit
huge.
and watch Hairspray and then like laugh at it. Like I'm so lucky to be able to do that. Like, because it's not just, oh, that's fun to sit and watch a movie, but it's musical theater. It's what I love. So I love that. But I'd probably say my favorite thing is when someone in the comments, some of my fans will quote old videos that I've done. That makes me feel so special. And it's hard to fathom that amount of people. This career can be incredibly lonely when you are filming by yourself, working by yourself, and posting by yourself. And then to even comprehend like millions of people, you just don't. So
you don't see them. Yeah.
No, so I think really like you get to a point where you can feel very isolated, like no one's watching. And other than, the very occasional someone sees me in the grocery store and is like, hey, I know you. I like your videos.
Oh, so that has happened.
It does. Yeah. It happens
that's fun.
every month or so, I would probably say.
Nice.
But seeing those, I'm like, oh, they're watching my videos. Like they're not only just like posting something nice about this one, but they've watched. I had someone recently say like, is this the return of Princess Cora Hannah, which happened in 2020? And I was like, you've been here for a long time. Like that, I'm still riding that high off of that.
So it's like that sense of community that you love.
Yeah. I recently saw a TikTok that had someone was making fun of vocal coaches online. And I've seen some of these. And the top comments, and one of them had like 60,000 likes, was like, not my girl Hannah Bales though. And they were all tagging me in it. They were like, glad to see no one's mentioning Hannah Bales like here. Cause I felt so good about that.
They were defending you straight up.
They were like, haha, this is real, but not for Hannah.
But not for Hannah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that honestly meant the world for me, especially during this period of time when I've been taking a break.
Yeah.
It's easy for me in my mind to feel like I could just disappear, and not that like nobody would care, but just maybe I should, maybe I don't want this. Like I go through my monthly existential crisis, like,
Don't we all,
for the
though?
past 4.5 years.
Don't we all? Yeah.
And I think, do I want to do this with my life? And then that pops up and I'm like, yeah. Because that's so cool. Like, even though these are strangers to me, I am a part of their lives, even in the tiniest little way.
You give them some, not only entertainment, but inspiration and just education. And you're part of their life. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I have YouTubers that I've watched for years and years and years. And every time they pop up, I'm like, oh my God, I'm excited to see them. And so knowing that I'm that for some people is so cool.
It's real. It's very cool.
Awesome.
I'll say that the worst part about YouTube, I would say for me, is, I don't know if I want to say worst, but sponsorships. That's my least favorite.
What part of sponsorships exactly would you say?
This is not every brand, but I would probably say most of them. It's just the back and forth. It's trying to do something that feels very authentic to me and my channel while also hitting all of their content guidelines,
which is hard,
and making them happy is hard. I do really like on YouTube, it's just expected that you're going to do an ad read now.
Yeah.
And as a creator, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Because on TikTok, if you do a sponsored video, people are mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
They're
don't
like,
want to see
what
ads.
the hell is this?
Yeah.
But on YouTube, if they don't want to see it, they'll just skip ahead.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't feel like I'm making them mad, so that's good. I'll be like so excited to work with a brand, sign the contract, and then they're actually so hard to work with. Like they are the ones going back and forth, asking for all these changes.
Like which ones?
And so
I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you later. And so I've worked with many brands that I love when they say, here are the bullet points, but just talk to the camera. And I love that they give me creative freedom, because a brand needs to understand that the creator knows their audience better than they do. And I obviously want the integration to go well, because I want you to work with me again. I want you to pay me again. Okay. Like let's not tiptoe around this.
Yeah.
So with some brands, it's a major lack of trust. It's like, we don't trust you to promote us in the right way.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I got very burned out with sponsorships because I was doing like 4 a month.
And
it
it's
was
work.
insane. It was way too much for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you put it all together with the filming time, the scripting time, that equals the effort and money with editing, my editors, the effort of one whole video a month. So it was like I was putting in an extra video, and I really had to pull myself back, because that's why we get burned out as YouTubers.
Oh yeah. Okay. So with those sponsorships, like, is part of the work you having to find and like reach out, or is it more inbound? Like they're coming to you?
They will come to you.
They will come to you.
Yeah.
So do you
but
get the
I have an
views?
agent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I highly recommend getting an agent as soon as you possibly can.
Interesting.
Because
Okay.
they deal with all of it.
talk to you about that.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
getting an agent. But I was surprised at how sponsorships started showing up in my inbox when I had very few subscribers.
Wow.
So they will come to you, and for the most part, the benefit of having an agent is that they are connected with different PR agencies, ad agencies that work with different brands. So they can say, you sign on, and then as they are talking to brands, they'll be like, do you have that ad agency will talk to my agent. Do you have anybody who has this demographic? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, actually we do. We have Hannah. And so it's really totally worth it for that and the negotiating power
That's
that you
awesome.
have. Before then, yeah, they're gonna come to you. And when I was negotiating on my own, I had no idea what I was doing. And they count on you not knowing what you're
Yeah.
doing. And
Yeah.
they will try to kind of pull one over on you. Which is why even people who are really good at negotiating, I'm like, you should still have an agent to do this on your
Whose
behalf.
job is to do this.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to take a cut of it, but you're going to make twice as much money.
Awesome. That's really good to know. There's just so much more to it than you'd even think, like
Yeah.
from a career perspective of being a YouTuber, like there's just all these layers. So it's very fascinating. And thanks for
Yeah.
letting us peek behind the curtain on that.
Yeah, whatever you want to know. I'm an open book.
Okay, great. Well, for sake of time, we'll move on to the next little segment here. You want to lead us in?
All right. This is tell us your top 3.
Tell us your top 3.
So this is going to be rapid fire. We have 3 categories, and I want to know your top 3 for each category.
Okay.
Putting you on the
So,
spot, okay?
Yeah. First one is vocal performers. Top 3.
Mary Kate Morrissey.
Okay.
She's current Alphaba on Broadway.
Yes.
I love her. Jeremy Jordan.
Of course.
And Jessica Vosk.
Yes. Oh,
Just awesome 3.
Just had to throw those out
Easy.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say, Joy Woods.
Joy
Have you
Woods.
heard her sing
No, I
in
don't
The
know Joy Woods.
Notebook?
Oh my God.
Oh, the new
So
musical.
good.
Yeah, I just discovered her. Yeah, she's in The Notebook.
I'll have to play it for you because
Yeah.
it's wild.
I'm
Her
sorry.
voice is insane.
Everyone needs to go and listen to that a little bit. Have you heard Bright Star?
Yes.
It's my favorite musical of all time. It has Bright Star vibes.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so warm and cozy and makes me cry every time I listen to it. And genuinely, I had a spiritual experience because it's like older Allie and Noah singing with their younger selves. And it literally it touched me. I
that's
was like,
good.
oh my God, imagining singing with my younger self and connecting with her. Oh, it's so
Okay,
good.
I feel
It's
a,
really good.
a React video coming on.
Yes.
Yes.
Show me that for the first time, and I'll just let it hit
We'll
me.
do
on
it. We'll do
camera.
it. Watch you cry.
All right, next one.
Okay, next is roles you've played.
Oh, okay. Number 1, Ariel, The Little
Yes.
Mermaid.
That's perfect
That
for
was
you.
so
So
fun.
perfect.
Yeah.
Number 2 was Fiona in Shrek.
Also
Another
perfect for you.
perfect,
Just checking the redheads off.
another
the-
redhead. Another redhead. And then I would probably say the third one was when I played Rusty in Footloose in high school. We didn't have, I don't think we had
I
any
played
black
Ren in
kids
high school.
in our school.
really?
So I am pretty sure she's supposed to be black. But yeah, I didn't know that at the time.
Rusty? I don't know. Like Sarah Jessica Parker played her in the movie.
That's true.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like in the musical she usually is.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was just
Maybe
very
that's more of a
fun.
stage tradition. Maybe
That
yeah.
was I just remember doing that and being like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I felt like called to it.
slaying. Let's hear it for the boy.
Hardly. But I got through it.
Awesome. That's a good top 3.
That is
Okay,
good.
one more.
And for the season, what are your 3 favorite spooky season musicals? There are a lot.
We're recording this in late September.
Oh my God.
And you said you music directed Adam's Family.
Well, definitely Adam's Family,
good
but
one.
now what are other ones? I can't think of
we made
any.
a video where we you'll see it, but like we dove into all of the spooky
did.
musicals.
There are a
and
lot more than you think, like Beetlejuice, Phantom of the
Sweeney
Opera,
Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Okay. True. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I would probably put Phantom of the Opera at number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's so campy. It's so dramatic.
It is.
But the like their vocals and just like the emotion of it. It campy or not, it hits.
does.
Oh, every time. Every
It
time.
hits.
I would probably
Yeah.
put Addams Family up there.
Yeah, they
Every
can-
time I think about Sweeney Todd, I think about a production in New Zealand that in high school, it was a high school production, and they kept slicing people's throats because they were using real blades with tape
They
on
were
them.
actually slicing the throats?
Yes. They put like Scotch tape over it as if that would change it.
As if that would change a full razor.
Like an actual razor blade.
That blows
and so
my
like
mind.
multiple like children were like
Bleeding from their necks.
The fact that they didn't go, okay, one child got sliced, maybe we should stop
I know.
this. They
Like,
just
"Ah."
kept going.
Yeah, they
was
were
just
like,
a one-
yeah, stitch them up. They're fine.
Oh my
That's
God.
nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean,
That's pretty
There's a
spooky.
lot of different ways that people will do that special effect, but just slapping some Scotch tape on a real blade is not one I've ever heard of.
Oh my God, I
Method.
know.
We might- okay. What would you say that's one of them then, like music wise?
Sure.
All right, fair.
For the blood of it, for the gore.
And the music is
Honestly, I
beautiful.
don't know. I mean, I should watch your guys' video on the
Yeah,
spooky
once it's
music.
released,
There's a good
I'll shoot it
amount.
over to
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was give us your top 3. We just have a couple little wrap up questions. And
Yeah,
then
let's
we're
do it.
done.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
What can people expect from you next? Any big aspirations or projects on the horizon?
This is the worst question.
You don't have to. You can plead the 5th, like if
God.
things are under wraps. But
I can also be like, I'm taking a break. I'm chilling.
yeah,
I mean, the answer is I don't know. I am really, I wasn't joking when I said I have a monthly existential crisis because YouTube is a lot of pressure. And I personally have this fun little like wound in my childhood of like fear of being seen. Like it's very hard for me to be perceived. Difficult career that I have chosen.
Yeah.
So every month or so I have like this, I don't know if I can say this anymore.
No.
I feel you.
And I
though.
try to figure it out. And the truth is I love it too much to ever stop.
Yeah.
But I don't know when my next videos are going to come out. Hopefully very soon. I am still in the middle of writing a book. I write
really?
romance. So I'm hoping that I can get that out.
Once you're done, like let us know. We'll make a video, like
Okay,
like a full
great.
interview. We'll dive into it. Yeah,
Great.
that would
I mean,
be awesome.
I make on my second channel, I make romance book reviews, and that's been really fun. And
I
I want to
didn't
do
even know you
more of
had that.
those.
What's your favorite romance book?
It's called The Roommate. It's so cute. I love a rom-com in a book. So I love
Yes.
things with lots of banter. I also love books. I'm not a big enemies to lovers fan. I want the male love interest to be like
Supportive and,
groveling.
Yeah.
Like I am in love with you, please. That's my favorite.
Love it. Absolutely.
I want his life to be like almost in shambles because of how much he loves this woman.
just
Absolutely.
passion.
Obsessed.
Yes.
Okay, last question, and this is just going to be one that we ask everybody that we interview. How do you measure success?
There is a sign on my fridge right now that says you get to define what success means to you.
No way.
Literally, it's on my fridge.
No way.
Right now.
Oh my God.
So
Oh my God. That's such a lovely question. I used to measure in milestones. I used to be like, I'm successful if I hit this number of subscribers but I don't think that that's like where it feels authentic. I think what success is to me is feeling balance. Like being able to do the projects I'm passionate about, kind of get what I'm working on done, and then be able to close my computer and turn my brain off and be
have a life.
Yeah, and have like a fulfilling, beautiful life. I think that is the dream for most people, is like making content online to fund their life. And, you know, I think for a long time I was just like, I want to get to 1 million subscribers. And of course I still want that. That's an incredible milestone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really
but that's a goal. That's a number.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they send me a plaque. That's cool. Like,
Yeah.
like it's fun. It's like a nice, it's like a added bonus, I should say.
Yeah.
You know?
The frosting on top of the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like I felt very successful. The fact that I have, you know, thank you like 2020, 2021 Hannah for working so hard, because I've been able to take 4 months off.
And just pace yourself
And
now.
you know, I mean, we're pinching our pennies, but like I'm surviving. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not home homeless yet, so
That's great.
good.
That's a good answer, and I think we always talk about that too, like balance, the concept of balance in life, and it's
So huge.
So
it's that
important.
live to work to live sort
yeah,
of
like 'cause
thing.
she was a professional recruiter for a little while, like a professional interviewer to get people jobs, and it was so intense, and it was just like, what are we doing? Like, yeah, once she
work was
became
coming
pregnant,
home
we're
with
just
me
like, just
and-
Right.
just be at home, like let's just live and just like feel this experience, and
Yeah.
like love that answer.
Thanks.
Well, that's we're gonna wrap it up with that. First of all, thank you so much for doing this. Like
thanks for
seriously,
reaching
it's
out.
such an honor that you said yes and that you would do this for us. It's we're just starting out. We're just scrappy young YouTubers.
Yeah.
And interviewing a veteran, and it's so nice. Yeah. Any last
Where
plugs?
can we find you?
Yeah.
Everywhere Hannah Bales. Just look my name
Just
up.
Hannah Bales
on
on
there.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Or according to some people on dating apps, you can just search redhead YouTuber Utah.
And find you. Well, I know exactly what I'm looking for.
That's what I'm saying. I tried to keep it a secret and they somehow found me. I was like, wow, that Google algorithm is
Jeez.
good.
It's working.
That's
it's working.
crazy. Well, don't stalk Hannah. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, but you can find me on YouTube, Hannah Bales, on TikTok and Instagram, hannah.bales. And my second channel is called Daddy Hannah. Don't ask.
I
love it.
will, but off camera. Also, drop a sub for us if you liked it. Hold Harmonics. We're coming at you with lots of content. We look forward to just bringing it more. It's happy spooky season. Everybody, goodbye.
Goodbye.